This was me in 2019. I had 8 addictions, half of my teeth missing. I had only 53 kilograms. I was working dead-end job and my only friends were junkies on the bus station. This is me today. 0 addictions, healthy teeth, 80 kilograms. For more than 2 years I had my own company, which I successfully sold. The reason why I was at such rock bottom, I was born into the most fucked up family you could imagine. Early on, my brain just wanted to escape. Instead of fixing myself, I just wanted to numb my brain so I don't feel the pain of this reality. During my teen years, I was playing World of Warcraft for 10 to 12 hours every single day. This lasted for more than 4 years. When I finally dropped gaming, I got addicted to gambling. I got myself deep into financial debts. But the worst addiction, it was sites. I was hooked on the sites since I was 10 years old. I had zero self-confidence, I had zero girls. I was basically invisible to women. I couldn't stay sober for 1 minute a day. I always had to do something. I always had to smoke a cigarette, drink alcohol, or watch porn. This life was living hell for me, but for me at that time it was normal. It was something just like something that I live every day. It was normal for me. My first real wake up call was discovering NoFap. Besides destroyed my confidence the most, I realized that this was one thing that I need to quit the most. I always had this voice in my head telling me that I need to quit this, that this is not what I should do, this is not what a man is supposed to do. But during that time I still believed that watching sites was normal, healthy activity. But what changed then was that I found the NoFap subreddit. I realized that thousands and thousands of guys are fighting the same demon just like me, and I realized that watching sites was not normal activity. After first 2 weeks of NoFap, something clicked for me. It was basically like I felt different for first time in my life. I felt more energy. I felt like I had a little bit more confidence, which was kind of strange feeling, but very good feeling for me, because in my life I never had confidence. It was always below zero. And what changed at that time was I started feeling good about myself for the first time in my life, and I decided to go on to continue this streak. That I realized that something is different now. At that time, I got kind of obsessed with checking out the subreddit of NoFap, and I was there every day. And I actually got to 67 days on my streak. And during that streak, after only 1 month, I started doing push-ups in my room. I started doing pull-ups. I had enough energy for first time in my life to actually want to do some physical activity, because before this I was always just laying around on the couch, doing nothing, smoking weed, gambling or whatever, just wasting my time. After this streak I realized that this is not gonna be easy, this is gonna be hard, but I still accepted this because the contrast was insane. I knew how I felt before those 67 days, and I knew how I felt after them. It was just different world, Even though I was still smoking, I was still drinking, I was still smoking weed. I kept going on my streaks, but for next 1 year I kept just failing. So eventually I went on maybe 30, 40 days and couldn't get past that. After 6 months of discovering NoFap, I discovered new thing, which might sound funny, but it was motivational videos on YouTube. I didn't know those existed, and the impact they had on me was basically I watched some motivational videos and I realized that I'm going nowhere in my life, that I'm stuck. I was working in the dead-end factory job for the minimal salary. I decided to exit my comfort zone. Soon after that, a colleague that I worked with in factory, he invited me to come abroad and be his roommate and work for much better salary, and I accepted. For next 10 months I went to live abroad, and actually I got back into drugs and into addictions because he was self-destructive just like my old self. After 10 months I had to come back to my country because of 2020 situation. But then I came back with basically no money. I spent all my money on the drugs, on the rave parties. But this time it was different because in my head I had this idea that I can change. I remember the feeling on the NoFap streak, and it kind of haunted me. I wanted it back. I wanted to experience this feeling again. Like it was better than any drugs that I experienced because it was real. It was not fake, it was not induced. So I moved to a new city where nobody knows me. I started working night shifts in the bakery. This was my monk mode. I started watching David Goggins. I got hooked. I got addicted. This he was my new addiction. The reason being is because I related so hard to his story. I watched every single podcast, I read his book. Seeing a guy who went through hell just like me inspired me so much. This planted a seed in my head that made me believe that it's possible to go from hell to something big, to something huge. That going through hell was my hidden advantage that I didn't know I had. At that time, I finally quit gambling, I quit alcohol, I quit weed and cigarettes. After 7 months, I saved enough money to quit working in the bakery and move to another city. For the next few years, I worked in the food delivery, and I met a guy who was also working in food delivery as a student, and we were hanging out every day and talking about like business ideas, and he was open-minded and wanted success just like me. We decided to start our own business. We actually succeeded. For 3 years we were having our own pickup restaurant for deliveries, and after 3 years we decided to sell the company. Taking that massive risk and opening my own company taught me everything about life. It taught me about responsibility, it taught me about how to be a leader. During those 3 years, I completely fixed my life. I started going on dates every few weeks and completely destroyed my fear of talking to women. But the biggest win, it was 15 months ago when I finally beat my addiction to the sites. But let me tell you straight up, without NoFap, without semen retention, this wouldn't be possible. NoFap and semen retention actually cleansed my mind. It actually gave me the energy to do things that I want to do. It gave me ability to look myself in the mirror and to say I need to fix myself. Today I need to work on this, tomorrow I need to work on that. Basically, it gives you ability to fix yourself. You are not able to fix your life if you are still lying to yourself, if you are losing your energy, your integrity. Every time you release, you are losing some of it, especially if you release to the sides. You want your integrity back. It's impossible for you to grow as a person with no integrity. Sites, especially the categories that you are not proud of watching, it will destroy your integrity, it will destroy any possibility for you to change to the better. This is my conclusion after living basically rock bottom life and changing and actually being happy with myself. Today I have so much energy, I have so much ambition. I really want to spread this message to people. And if you are watching sites, you are basically wasting consciousness producing substance. You are depleting yourself of your most powerful substance. That's the most expensive substance to create in the human body. You are wasting that to the fucking pixels on the screen, man. You are basically doing double the damage. You are destroying your dopamine receptors and you are sacrificing parts of your consciousness. Because in order to make a new baby, in order to make a new life, new consciousness, you need to sacrifice some of your own. This is how it works. Why wouldn't you think that semen, being the most expensive process in your body, is not draining some of your consciousness in order to create a new consciousness? But if you retain it, it gets reabsorbed. Basically, you get extra consciousness. That's why on semen retention you feel like you have better intuition, you have more energy, just like new life is within you. The longer you retain, the more you will notice this. Basically, you are empowered on your own life, on your own semen. Anyway, to anyone who watched this far, I really respect you. I hope I can influence at least one person. My goal with this is just to share my message, to share my life story, because it would be selfish if I didn't do this. It would be selfish because my life story is proof that excuses are only in your head. They exist only in your head. They are not real. You can destroy all your limiting beliefs and do something with your life. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.